So Geekdom 101 dropped this video, and honestly, my heart stopped because I was assuming that this video was talking about Ultimate Gohan being retconned in favor of Beast Gohan as his ultimate transformation. So I ended up watching the video, and to my surprise, actually, the video is not about that at all. It's about something completely different. And so I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. There's a lot of good points. He's got my buddy Dragon Lee on as a guest, who is the creator of not only Dragon Ball Infinity, which is a fan manga that I've covered on this channel, but also Blackbird's Dragon Ball V. He works on that as well. But apparently Dragon Ball fans are confused over something that honestly I never thought there was much of confusion for. Especially since Dragon Ball Super came out like years ago, ended years ago, and it kind of stated what this was. So if you already watched the video, you know what I'm talking about and what the retcon is in this video, and that is
Chapter 94 of Dragon Ball Super's mangas in the books, and once again a controversy has come out of it involving Ultimate Gohan. At the end of the chapter, we see Gohan, just like in the movie, it's the same thing. He was a Super Saiyan, he's fighting Gamma 1, he sees that Pan's in trouble, of course she's faking it, and he goes from Super Saiyan into Ultimate.
People think that Ultimate Gohan is being retconned as a transformation instead of a state, meaning that he is supposed to be in that state, and that's the state he's supposed to be in, as opposed to it just being another one of the transformations. And I guess in the movie Superhero, we get Gohan going through the transformations and ultimately ending up on Ultimate Gohan as his final form. Now this confused the hell out of me because literally every single media that we've gotten Ultimate Gohan in since Dragon Ball Super has kind of explained what Ultimate Gohan actually is, and even dabbled in its power, like how strong it actually is. Now, Ultimate Gohan is a state of Gohan. It is Gohan 100% unleashed, essentially. That's exactly how it's explained in Dragon Ball Z, even though the Elder Kai says activate it like you would a Super Saiyan transformation, which he does. Now, in DBZ, we all assumed this was Ultimate Gohan, like, as he is going to be forever. Like, he doesn't need to transform anymore. Like, the point of this is that that's what his power level is going to be. That's why he's got black hair. Dragon Ball Super comes in, and even in the beginning where Super Saiyan 3 failed to even land a hit on Beerus, Ultimate Gohan was one of the last two to be able to kind of like throw any sort of resistance toward Beerus before Beerus knocked him out. And so even there, it's like, okay, we were thinking that, you know, it's just a state. That's what Gohan is. Fast forward to Frieza, and we see that that's not the case at all. It is something that Gohan has lost, and has lost because he has lost his battle sense. Battle sense meaning that he's gotten rusty, he's gotten lazy, he's just wanting to relax just like the other Earth Saiyans, and he doesn't really want to fight, doesn't really see a need for it. And so in the Golden Frieza saga, he ends up like this because he doesn't have access to his killer instinct. He can only go into Super Saiyan really, and that's even half-hearted. And he says multiple times early on in this that he doesn't even think he can go into Super Saiyan 2. He's not as strong as he was back in the Cell saga. So with him losing his battle sense, it's not really a state that he is in all the time. If he loses his battle sense, he loses the access to the transformation or the form or the state, and so he has to get the battle sense back to be able to go into that transformation. And that's exactly what happens in the anime. Doesn't happen in the manga, but it is implied. So in the anime, he ends up getting his battle sense through combat with Piccolo, and this activates it to the point because Piccolo has such a like integral, intense, and unique connection to Gohan. And so Gohan really learned battle sense and how to be a warrior from Piccolo. So it takes Piccolo to remind him right before the Tournament of Power, and then Gohan challenges Goku. Now, I've said it before when this episode came out. I was doing YouTube back then, and I was reviewing the episodes, and I said it then, I'll say it now. I don't think that Goku really needed to go into Kaioken to knock out Gohan. Now, it may seem that way because he does go into Kaioken at the end to knock Gohan out and defeat him, but if you really watch the fight, it's really in Goku's corner. Goku is kind of controlling the entire thing in Super Saiyan Blue. So in this, it's implied that he is kind of around Super Saiyan Blue, but not really. So realistically, maybe Super Saiyan Blue ultimately couldn't one-shot Ultimate Gohan, hence the need to go into Kaioken, but it is not something that Ultimate Gohan can easily surpass. But it's safe to say that with the connection to battle sense and the way that Gohan works, the way that his power works, with the more access to battle sense and becoming a warrior, the stronger the Ultimate Gohan transformation actually gets. He faces off against a lot of different strong opponents in the Tournament of Power, but in the manga, his biggest challenge is against Kefla. Kefla is, in the anime, one of the juggernauts of the Dragon Ball Super story. She goes toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan Blue Goku. She dominates that fight a lot of the time, and then even trying to go toe-to-toe with Omen, and she kind of does a little bit, but in the manga, they are basically equal. Ultimate Gohan, I'm assuming because he is in the tournament now, his battle sense is rejuvenating. He is basically like an extremely talented warrior with depths of untapped potential. He can kind of bring that power to bear and get stronger and stronger as he fights. Similar to Broly, he's learning as he fights. That's Ultimate Gohan, or just Gohan in general. So to me, that's kind of the way that I took it when he was essentially going toe-to-toe with Kefla. I don't think that Kefla was made weaker. I think that Gohan in that aspect was made stronger. So fast forward again to Superhero, and I know I skipped Moro, but really there's not much besides experience there, and that experience is valuable to Superhero because in Superhero, he ends up going toe-to-toe with the Gammas, and the Gammas are actually explained to be as strong as the Super Saiyan Blue transformations. That's their power level. So now Gohan is easily in that Super Saiyan Blue range with the Ultimate Gohan transformation. So going back to the original point that Geekdom and Dragon Lee are talking about and discussing, where people are confused about Ultimate Gohan, whether it's a state or it's a transformation, it is in Dragon Ball Super clearly stated as a transformation. It's something that he has to go into. It's something that he can lose easily, and he has to get his battle sense back to be able to tap into it, and that is why he basically uses it as a transformation. He gets access to it, even though he's kind of rusty in Superhero still, but he just had a few years ago the fight with Moro and his goons, so he really isn't as rusty as he was from the Z timeline all the way to the Dragon Ball Super Golden Frieza saga. He's not that bad. He's able to easily jump into it once he's facing off against the Gammas because his battle sense quickly recovers. Again, he just had that fight with Moro and his goons a few years ago. He is, even though rusty, in combat state. I don't think that Beast Gohan is a retcon of Ultimate Gohan, where Ultimate Gohan is supposed to be 100% of Gohan, and now we have Beast Gohan, like what is that, 1,000,000% of Gohan? No, I don't think it's a retcon at all. I made an entire video explaining how Gohan essentially tells us what Beast Gohan is with the Saiyans in DBS Superhero. And if you want a more detailed discussion, I'm gonna leave a link to it, but just in short, Gohan was threatened by a outside force. It attacked Piccolo, and so he looked within himself and exploded in power. The story, the battle, it needed him to go there, and it did. That's essentially what ends up happening. Because he is threatened, he transforms. And I think that this transformation itself is something that is the next stage to Ultimate Gohan. It is essentially 1,000,000% Gohan. If this was 100% Gohan, this is 1,000,000% Gohan. It is Gohan with everything drawn out of him because the fight needs him to be at this caliber, and he is threatened by a force that is around that caliber. I mean, it basically almost killed Piccolo. So I just see Beast Gohan as like level 2 of Ultimate Gohan, and really, realistically, probably the 5th transformation of Gohan himself. But here on out, I would not be surprised if Gohan just used Ultimate Gohan from now on, because he is already in that state, and then if he needs to go further, he'll go into Beast Gohan. I would be surprised if we see Super Saiyan Gohan in the story again. And hopefully he just doesn't lose his battle instinct in the future.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.